Charleston White has dropped a shocking new twist, claiming that Aaron the Plumber has been in contact with the FBI over threats allegedly made by Wack 100. This revelation adds fuel to the ongoing feud between Aaron and Wack that has been heating up for months.
Charleston White was on the Danza Project, and he reveals that he has information that somebody is working with the FBI and they're snitching on Wack 100.
Charleston White recently said on the Danza Project podcast that the FBI may have contacted a man named Aaron the Plumber about threats Wack 100 made on air. White said Wack could be in serious trouble and might even go to jail. This all started at Ray J's house, where Aaron got into a fight with a security guard named Donut. Aaron asked the guard to put down his gun so they could fight fairly, but the guard said no. As Aaron walked away, the guard reportedly spat on his back from about 10 feet away. This highly disrespectful act prompted Aaron to attempt to retaliate, but he was quickly restrained by approximately 3 security guards who removed him from the premises. According to eyewitness accounts, Aaron was so enraged by the disrespect that he was crying while leaving the house and spent time walking around the property trying to find a way back in to confront Donut. Following this humiliating encounter, Aaron reached out to a mutual connection requesting, "Yo, lock me in with Wack 100. Link me up with Wack 100. I want Wack 100 to set up the fade with me and Donut. I can come to Donut's hood. I can come anywhere Donut wants to get it at. I just want to fade with Donut. He disrespected me, and as a man, I need that." A mutual connection, usually uninvolved in street politics, gave Aaron Wack 100's contact info, hoping he could help mediate. At first, talks between Aaron, Wack, Loose Cannon, and Creep were productive, with Wack's side understanding Aaron's position and agreeing to help resolve things. However, things quickly deteriorated when Aaron sent a text message to Wack 100 that read, "Big bro, we waiting on you to tell us what time it is. If he ain't gonna fade, then we gonna get active. I got ninjas mad as F from everywhere ready to step behind me. Bloods, Pirates, even Mexicans. I want my fade, but if I can't get it, somebody got to pay for that. Respectfully, we ain't going for that." Wack 100 interpreted this as an outsider attempting to dictate terms in Los Angeles, which crossed a line for him. In Wack's perspective, someone who is not from LA cannot make calls and shots regarding street matters in the city. What followed was a heated phone conversation that was captured on audio and later circulated online. On a recorded call, Wack 100 was heard making serious threats, saying things like, "You want a fade? Where you at? We gonna give you your fade," and using strong language towards someone, even mentioning their family. Charleston White, speaking on the Danza Project podcast, said this call got the FBI's attention because the threats were made in public. He claimed he spoke directly with Aaron the Plumber, who confirmed that the FBI contacted him about the things Wack said about his mother and kids. The podcast host expressed surprise at White's claim, noting, "I didn't know he was anywhere affiliated to anything in the realm of Wack 100. White clarified that Aaron has ties to Los Angeles and has spent time in either Texas or California prisons, making him either gang-affiliated or gang-associated. White added, "He's from LA. He got into it with one of Wack 100's homeboys, the security guard. He got into it with the security guard who had the gun on him who spit on him." The podcast host then highlighted the seriousness of the spitting incident, stating he would have handled it differently. "Oh, he way better than me, and then you spitting bodily fluids? I'm pressing charges on your mother ass. And then once I press them charges, I'm gonna go get you civilly so I can put a lien on your house." Charleston White's comments were timely, coming just before the feds began investigating other LA podcast figures like Loose Cannon, Brick Baby, and Big U. He predicted these developments, questioning whether law enforcement would continue letting people publicly record assaults without facing consequences. Charleston White also talked about a violent attack that happened outside the No Jumper podcast studio. He said the beating was so bad that it likely got the attention of law enforcement. Charleston White also talked about a violent attack that happened outside the No Jumper podcast studio. He said the beating was so bad that it likely got the attention of law enforcement. They stripped the guy, beat him, kicked him. It was hard to watch, White said. "You think the police saw that video and aren't trying to find a way to charge those people?" He believes the feds have been keeping an eye on the LA podcast scene for a while now because of all the violence being shown publicly. This situation highlights what appears to be a changing dynamic in how conflicts with Wack 100 are being handled. As one commentator noted, I feel like people have realized that you can't really bully Wack or you can't out-tough Wack because Wack is willing to take it there. Like Wack is willing to go where they're willing to go. So it feels like the new strategy now when it comes to all of Wack's enemies is to snitch and get Wack off the streets. That appears to be the new strategy. The commentator pointed out that trying to get someone sent to jail can be more dangerous than a direct fight. Wack can handle people coming at him, he said, but when people are working behind the scenes to lock you up, that's a whole different level of danger. Still, he wasn't convinced that Wack 100 truly meant to harm Aaron the Plumber's family. "I don't think Wack planned to do anything," he said. "It sounded like a heated moment, and honestly, it's been months and no one's been hurt or even messed with." This situation continues to unfold as part of a larger pattern of conflicts and legal troubles involving major figures in the hip-hop podcasting world, with Charleston White presenting himself as an insider with unique insight into how law enforcement handles these cases. Could this be the beginning of a major crackdown on the scene? Share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe to our channel for the latest updates.
That make a lot more sense.
Yeah, that's not snitching.
No. Now, as far as Brick goes, I think a lot of people were really thrown off and saddened by.
They thought they were walking out, but the judge had other plans. In a courtroom showdown that felt more like a street war than a legal hearing, Brick Baby and Loose Cannon just got hit with a brutal reality check. No bond, no freedom, and no mercy from the judge. Let's get straight to it. Both Brick Baby and Loose Cannon were denied bond. They were confident they'd be released on April 9th because they had strong bond packages. Brick Baby's mom even put up a multi-million-dollar property. However, the judge denied their requests, citing similar reasons, including prior criminal history, potential interference with the legal process, and that the court believes they pose a threat. This doesn't stop them from reapplying for bond, but for now, they remain in custody. Brick Baby's hearing went smoothly, but Loose Cannon's, not so much. There was some serious drama involving a neighborhood OG named Eddie Boy. I want to give you guys both sides all right. The pro-Loose Cannon side and the anti-Loose Cannon side. Eddie Boy was in the courtroom. Apparently, they don't get along. Loose Cannon straight up said in court, "Why is Eddie Boy here? I don't mess with him," right in front of everybody. The officers had to step in, telling him Eddie Boy had every right to be there. Court is public. After some back and forth, Loose Cannon finally cooled down. During the hearing, the prosecution brought up Loose Cannon's past charges to argue he was a risk to society. However, Loose Cannon claimed many of those charges weren't his. He said something like, "I didn't go to jail for that. My brother did those crimes." It turns out that Loose Cannon and his brother aren't just siblings. They're actually twins. Not only do they look alike, but they also have strikingly similar names. That's where things took a strange turn. Due to what appears to have been a clerical error in the legal system, the prosecution mistakenly pulled up his brother's criminal record and tried to use it against Loose Cannon in court. In other words, they were holding him accountable for things he never actually did. Now here's where things get tricky. Loose Cannon pointed out the mistake to the court, making it clear that those charges didn't belong to him, but to his twin brother. That correction helped his case, but in certain circles, especially in the streets, calling out someone else's record, even if it's to defend yourself, raises eyebrows.
Yeah, I say that on the phone, like, "Yo, you nigga, why you on the phone?" I'm like, "Oh, because you know them calls is recorded." Yeah. So they like, "Man, what the you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, man." I started crying for a second, and I hung up the phone.
So, is that snitching? Well, some like 600 might say yes, because, technically, he revealed that his brother had a criminal record, even if indirectly. But from Loose Cannon's perspective, he wasn't trying to get his brother in trouble or cooperate with the authorities against him. He was just trying to clear his own name and avoid being punished for something he didn't do. In his eyes, it wasn't snitching, it was self-defense. The situation with Eddie Boy escalated. Loose Cannon's lawyer observed Eddie Boy on his phone and suspected he was recording. She alerted the judge, who had Eddie Boy escorted out to check. He wasn't recording and was allowed back in. Loose Cannon's past online activity was also brought up. Prosecutors are using his claims of being an enforcer and his comments about people's families against him. They even asked Eddie Boy if he wanted to press charges for those comments, but Eddie Boy said, "No, I don't need to." Loose Cannon is being accused of lying about fights in jail, which prosecutors say never happened. He's also accused of not being truthful about his gang affiliation. Some are saying he's not really a rolling 60. Loose Cannon and his associates deny these allegations. The fight outside No Jumper with JRE was brought up as evidence of Loose Cannon's violent tendencies. The prosecution is using this to argue that he shouldn't be released back into society. The situation with Eddie Boy escalated. Loose Cannon's lawyer observed Eddie Boy on his phone and suspected he was recording. She alerted the judge, who had Eddie Boy escorted out to check. He wasn't recording and was allowed back in. Loose Cannon's past online activity was also brought up. Prosecutors are using his claims of being an enforcer and his comments about people's families against him. They even asked Eddie Boy if he wanted to press charges for those comments. It's crazy how things change. Loose Cannon and 600 used to be on the same team, exposing others. Now, 600 is calling Loose Cannon a liar. This shows how quickly life can come at you, especially when you're living a fast life. All of Loose Cannon's enemies seem to be stuck in the past, relics from the 60s, and that's not just a coincidence. It highlights a harsh and sobering truth about gang culture. It's a cycle that refuses to evolve, built on old grudges, outdated codes, and empty promises. People often think gangs provide a sense of safety, a place to belong, like a brotherhood. But the reality is far more brutal. There's no peace here. No true protection. What you find, instead, is betrayal, violence, and a life filled with constant paranoia. Loose Cannon's story isn't some fictional drama crafted for entertainment. These aren't just characters on a screen. They're reflections of real people, real communities, and real consequences. The pain is authentic. The danger is real. And perhaps the most tragic part is this: the very gang he dedicated his life to, the one he believed in, is the one now turning on him. That's the dark irony. Loyalty in this world is often one-sided. The idea of brotherhood? Often nothing more than a myth used to keep people trapped in a cycle of destruction. There's a powerful lesson hidden here. It's not just a cautionary tale, it's a wake-up call. The streets may promise respect, but they rarely deliver anything more than heartbreak. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below, and be sure to check out the video on why a Rolling 60 OG is claiming Brick Baby snitched. Thanks for watching. From platinum-selling artist to public embarrassment, YK Osiris has fallen hard. What happened to the man behind the hit songs? Today we will discuss his financial troubles, public humiliation, and scamming allegations that have left his career in shambles. Stick around as we uncover how YK Osiris went from music stardom to fighting amateur boxing matches for scraps.
I was trying to sing. I was trying to sing. Like, I really want to be like Michael Jackson, so I wanted to sing. Like, I want to dance like him and all. You feel me? I wanted to sing like.
YK Osiris burst onto the scene with hit tracks like Worth It, a song that not only earned him a triple platinum plaque, but also catapulted him to fame, securing a spot among hip-hop's rising stars. This meteoric rise was fueled by his unique blend of rap, R&B, and pop, which resonated deeply with audiences worldwide. However, behind the glitz and glamour of his newfound success, trouble was brewing. Despite his early achievements, including a nomination for Best New Artist at the 2019 BET Hip Hop Awards and electrifying performances at major festivals, YK Osiris faced significant challenges. His rapid ascent to fame was followed by reports of financial difficulties, including debts to prominent figures in the music industry, such as Drake and Lil Baby.
I ain't gonna owe you no more.
You owe me 60 bands, and you have to perform the song right now in the crib. What are we talking about? What are you talking about? I'm giving you an out.
I'm sorry, let me get my 5 band, bro.
I can't wait to get you. I can't.
You right now.
He's so funny. He's so funny, man.
Additionally, he was involved in controversies surrounding false claims about charitable donations, which further tarnished his public image. These setbacks, combined with a perceived lack of new material and a decrease in his musical output, led to a decline in his popularity. His inability to sustain the momentum of his early success meant that he struggled to maintain his position as a leading figure in the hip-hop scene. YK Osiris's story serves as a cautionary tale about the pressures and pitfalls of sudden fame, highlighting the importance of maintaining artistic output and managing personal and financial responsibilities effectively.
I will give you the word, you just gotta be worthy, yeah.
Sorry, 10 smuggaroos. Eat my neck. That nigga losing all his fucking.
Oh, why you got it?
YK Osiris has been involved in several high-profile deaths, particularly related to basketball bets. One of the most notable incidents involved losing over $60,000 in a series of basketball games. However, instead of paying up, he seemed to ghost his opponents, leaving them without their winnings. This behavior has led to him being labeled as a scammer by many in the industry. One of his most publicized debts was to Lil Baby, who he owed $5,000. Despite being a platinum artist, YK Osiris struggled to pay back this relatively small amount. The situation became awkward when he ran into Lil Baby at a jewelry store, Icebox, and was confronted about the debt. YK Osiris asked Lil Baby to wait for his next hit before paying him back, which was met with skepticism. Perhaps the most humiliating moment for YK Osiris came when he was forced by Drake to perform his hit song Worth It at Drake's Toronto mansion. This was in repayment for a $60,000 debt he owed Drake from another lost basketball bet. The incident was widely shared on social media, with many ridiculing YK Osiris for his situation. Drake's move was seen as a clever way to shame YK Osiris into paying his debts while also entertaining his audience. It highlighted the extent to which YK Osiris's financial troubles had become a public spectacle. YK Osiris's financial issues are not isolated incidents. He has a history of making bets he can't afford to lose and then failing to pay up. This pattern of behavior has led to him being called out by several figures in the music industry. For instance, he lost a $10,000 basketball bet to Young Blue, which was documented on social media. Despite acknowledging his gambling addiction, YK Osiris seems unable to break the cycle. He continues to make bets, often with disastrous financial consequences. His recent involvement in amateur boxing for a relatively low fee of $20,000 further underscores his financial struggles. And if that wasn't enough, YouTuber Scam Likely exposed him for owing money and dodging payments. His reputation took a massive hit.
YK Osiris has outdone himself right when I thought he couldn't do any more damage to his already dying career. I honestly thought when Drake made this man dance and sing for him.
Fast forward to today, YK Osiris is now participating in low-tier celebrity boxing matches. Compared to Blueface's $500,000 per fight, he's fighting for just $20,000.
Wait, what?
Can you name 3 YK Osiris songs?
Put a gun to the back of your head.
I will give you the world, baby girl. That's true.
The lyrics of one song.
Oh shit! I can't, bro. I'm dead.
At a recent press conference, TikTokers roasted him about his career and financial status. And get this, he bet his entire fight purse against Scam Likely, who might just beat him in the ring. But the scandals don't stop there. Far from it. He's been entangled in a jaw-dropping allegation involving stolen jewelry with none other than pop star Sean Kingston by his side. According to reports, the duo was involved in a bizarre scheme that raised more than a few eyebrows in the entertainment world. And if that wasn't enough, he's also been caught making outrageous bets, some worth thousands of dollars, that he allegedly never intended to pay. These stunts have turned him from a rising star into a walking controversy. His once promising image has taken such a nosedive that people no longer refer to him by name. Instead, he's mockingly called Scam Likely, a nickname that follows him like a shadow, hinting at the chaos and deception he's become known for. It's sad but true. YK Osiris has become a laughingstock in both the music industry and social media circles. So, what lessons can we take from YK Osiris's dramatic fall from grace? At the core of his downfall lies a dangerous trifecta: gambling, scamming, and a string of unpaid debts. These choices didn't just dent his bank account. They shattered his credibility and sabotaged the career he worked so hard to build. This was a man who once topped the charts, celebrated for his platinum hits and rising stardom. But in what felt like the blink of an eye, he went from headlining shows to being the punchline of TikTok memes. Now, instead of negotiating million-dollar deals or planning world tours, he's scrambling to recover a mere $20,000, pocket change in the world of A-list celebrities. And even that sum hangs in the balance, threatened by yet another reckless bet that could seal his fate. It's a powerful cautionary tale, a reminder that fame is fragile and that poor choices, no matter how small they seem in the moment, can spiral into a career-ending storm. In the end, YK Osiris's story isn't just about fame lost, but about the consequences that come when ego, temptation, and irresponsibility collide. What do you think about YK Osiris's situation? Is there any hope for him to bounce back? Let us know in the comments below.